Hello, welcome to the meeting of the Purple and Gold Mine. This is your host Tony Vega. Um, hey, it's past. This is the post draft video. This is kind of like our, um, you could say, kind of like the evaluation, kind of our thoughts and feelings about the draft. Now, it's not the meeting of the gold mines. If again, I don't have my bro here, and also a special guest. You all know who he is, Sean Spaces Davis. Appreciate you for joining us. Also, the born rebel he is, Zen. You're not the Zen master because we all know who that is, but just wanted to say.
I like black people. Never mind.
Okay.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
That's how you start the show. What the?
Wow, yeah. We do things differently in PGM, so yeah. How's it going, everybody? How's it going, Sean? It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Just crazy busy, but I'm happy you guys hit me up. I'm glad I get to hop on and join the legends yourselves. And Tony, one of the goats, and then my guy Zen going his own right. So yeah, shout out to you guys. I think PGM's Twitter account hit 1,000, right? It hit 1,000 a while ago, didn't it?
Yes, it was like 2 weeks ago, right, son? Or
yeah, a couple weeks ago we got to 1,000. But you're the Mr. 10K over here. So
Jesus.
I
remember the early days. Like you were like hovering between 2,000 and being like, "Yeah, I'm humbled," and then I don't know where 10K in one season. Like that's amazing, man.
So
congrats.
I don't know if I should say this, but you know what? You guys are my guys, so you guys will get the scoop here.
Oh.
Last year at Summer League. I'm gonna regret this. Last year at Summer League, at our company dinner for Lakers Nation, I got drunk. Right? And when I got back to my hotel, I idiotically will never do this again. I hopped into a Twitter space. I think I might have started it and I left and then joined somebody else's. But thank God, like that's like 1K followers, maybe. Thank the Lord. And like now I'm like, I think I was talking to one of my buddies yesterday, like, hey Sean, you hit 10K. Where I'm like, yeah. Like, I'm never doing what I did in Summer League again. Like, I can't do it now.
You can't afford it.
Hilarious.
You can't. It wasn't recorded either. It's like it's dead in the never will be found. But hey, thank God. That was bad.
That's pretty funny. But hey, let's talk some Lakers. Let's we appreciate your time, Sean. If I'm being honest, and this is kind of like way back when, like we kind of linked up through Spaces and actually through last season with the whole Westbrook situation, the whole like that was a hellish summer.
That was fun, wasn't it?
It was fun, yeah. I do remember your Warner impression in one of my Spaces. Like that was
gonna try, but I don't got it.
Yeah, and also not only Laker Nation, but you also do Sports Headline. I actually saw your video about the Durant with Swipa. That was pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Swipe is my guy, and go shameless plug. I suppose go check out that episode. It was a really fun episode. Like stuff like that is why I think a lot of people podcast in the first place, because I think I wanted that to be like a 45-minute show. And obviously, like if you watch it, it's like an hour and 15 minutes. Because like you just sit there, you just start talking. No restriction. I didn't have anything else to do. And you just get to talking. And yeah, hour and 15 minutes. That happens a ton with Trevor too. Like Trevor every time be like, okay, cool, we'll record for like 20 minutes, 45-minute podcast. Like that's what happens.
Yeah, it normally happens with us when we try to do like these types of podcasts. We try to just have a little conversation and it just blows up, and we'll keep on talking. And at some point, we gotta say like stop because it's too much. But so Lakers they had a good draft, at least prospectively speaking, and I can only talk to myself. I know Zen has a different point of view, and we're gonna go to him, but. Specifically, the Lakers had a good draft. I was very disappointed, and you can go in my timeline at that time. Like I was very disappointed because if I would put the lenses of we're rebuilding, we're accumulating talent, then I can say, yeah, this is great. um, so are they gonna be win now championship pieces? Because I thought we were gonna flip at least one of them for something, for a veteran that can help the team now.
Yeah.
Now that they have names, which is funny enough, like now that we can put not number 17, like it's now Jalen, and now we got Lewis. It's kind of like, I don't know if we're gonna trade him. And we already had the press conference today, the introductory conference, which was actually pretty good. But my question, and we'll start with Zen. Like, does a rookie in this team will contribute to a champion, like to winning, basically? Like, does it contribute to winning? And this is probably something that I know you've discussed it, Sean, but I know Zen has a different point of view. I think we had a space about it. I think we had an open discussion, but I just wanted to say, in the context of a win now team, that we have to appreciate the window that we have with LeBron James and AD. Can Jalen and Lewis be the guys that kind of like elevate this team and contribute to winning? So
Well,
Zen, go ahead, man.
So first thing is, when we say the two players, Lewis and JHS, can they contribute to winning? Now, first thing is, what's our definition of winning? What do we consider winning? And excuse the damn dogs in the background, but they're upset as well. But what do we say is winning? Like, because if we're saying, hey, this is possibly LeBron James' final season of his with the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
We have next year, we'll make 5 full seasons of the LeBron and AD era. And we have 1 championship. Same year, 1 final appearance, 1 championship.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have anything else. Now, if we're saying it's championship is what we call winning, then no. Now, is this a great move for the 2024-25 Lakers? Yeah. It's a solid move. But for next year, because the thing is, it's like LeBron's going to be 39. He's going to, I don't know what the over-under is, but I would not put money on LeBron playing over 64 games next year. AD, I maybe in the 65 game range. So who's going to be our guys that's going to fill in those gaps? I think also the Lakers have so many issues that what these guys can help out with is probably our like secondary stuff that we need to worry about. So I think in the long term for any other team, it's a solid move. We had a solid draft. But for next year, when we have an aging superstar, when we have another superstar who, injuries hit him probably at a higher above average rate, and I'm putting it nice.
That was the night. Really quick, hate to interrupt.
That's
you guys
the most
ever come
into way. I'm not calling him Mr. Glass.
If you guys ever hop into a PGM space, that's why I chuckle. Like, that is the nicest way I've ever heard Zin.
Look, this is probably the most PG of the PGM brand content that we've done so far.
I'm happy that there's a writer strike right now because, and I do have a lot of statistics. No, I'm telling you why I'm happy there's a writer strike, because Tony knows this. For the last month and a half of the regular season, every Wednesday, AD just either he missed the game or he just took the night off. And you know what comes on Wednesday nights? Abbott Elementary, which is a great show. It's a classic show. If you're not going to go to work to watch a show, hey, Abbott Elementary is the show. But, getting back to being serious, guys, I'm concerned that, like, what we would need them to do, like Austin Reeves had the benefit of developing. I think next year, I think the LeBron that we got this year, we're not going to get him next year. I think even if LeBron regressed 10%, which is fine. It's like he's going to be 39. I think that puts more burden on the other guys, and I'm just concerned that we're not going to give these guys an opportunity to develop, to grow, to be able to learn, like trial and error, and learn from their mistakes. And I want to hear from Sean, because there's actually a thing that Draymond Green said that I want to bring up. But definitely, I know, Sean, we spoke about this in the previous space last week, so I definitely know you're on the other side of the fence.
3:30 in the morning. I regret that night.
I remember.
I didn't sleep. So, okay, really quick. I didn't sleep that night, and because at 5:30, I had to go to my high school team that coach. We had to go to the school so we can travel 2.5 hours north to play at a college team camp. As you can imagine, I was absolutely slumped on that bus ride there. I think I just recovered, but neither here nor there. So really quick, I don't know if this was the point you're trying to make about LeBron before I get into the draft stuff, but Swipa in that interview, I don't want to say interview, in the pod in general with Swipa, he asked, "Hey Sean, are you worried at all about LeBron next year?" And I said, provide some context. He's older, yada, 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 the injuries, stuff like that. I said no, because there hasn't been anything, in my opinion, to showcase that he's still not at worst a top 12 player. Pre-injury LeBron, before he got hurt against Dallas, he was the 6th best player on the planet, 5 maybe even. Post-injury LeBron in that Denver series is the 10th best player, right? So there was nothing I don't know if this is the point Zim was trying to make, but in my opinion, there's nothing that's showing me that LeBron's going to fall off. It's very much possible. Dude's about to be, he's reaching 39, or is he 39 now? He's hitting 39.
He's hitting 39, yeah.
He's about to be 39 years old. If he fell off and knock on every piece of wood though, and he's a 20 point per game scorer next year, then it's very much in the realm of possibility, because he's 39, year 21. So it's very much possible, right? And honestly, the fact that LeBron's still going to be expected to perform at a top 6 level in year 21 is crazy. Not what we're here for. So for my personal pod, Sports Outline Show, I'm going through every team's draft and giving them all out draft grades or whatever. The first one was the Pacific Divisions, Lakers and all those teams or whatever. I think I gave the Lakers draft itself an A-. I liked the draft. I thought there was a moment of disappointment with the JHS pick, admittedly, right? There was a moment of disappointment. I honestly don't remember who I wanted though, but I just remember there was a moment of disappointment.
I think it was Kobe Buffkin, but then he went.
He went. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But there was a moment of disappointment. And really quick about the trade front, I don't think it was an active enough draft than we thought it was going to be. Because I think personally, I believe what Jovan was saying. And I believe what everybody had been saying for the most part leading up to the draft, is that the Lakers are going to try to trade down and accumulate another win now piece while still having a draft pick. I believe that was the case. And if we're being completely honest, the only major first round activity that involved players involved the Dallas Mavericks. Nobody else really did anything. And kudos to Matt Peralta from Lakers Nation, who maybe the pod before the draft was I don't think anybody's going to do anything in terms of trades, right? Because it is such a deep draft class. So where teams might just sit back and be F it. We're just going to let the board fall to us. And whoever's there is whoever's there. We're just going to pick best player available or whoever we want, right? And I honestly believe that's how the draft went. So when we start talking about trades, I think the Lakers tried, but teams for the most part were nah, we're cool. There's a couple of teams where I'm surprised they didn't trade. I for sure thought Utah was going to trade one of those picks. They made 3 first round picks. That's not really common. Indiana eventually got rid of it, but I still thought, were they willing to give up 26, especially to move up back into the top 20? So that's my piece on the trades. And then the players in general to contribute to winning. So like, I'm just going to say and maybe this is too vague, but we're going to go with sustain postseason run. That could be a title push. That could be a Western Conference Finals push. Sustain title run, postseason run. I think I tweeted this out. I think the most likely to contribute day one, not saying this is the better prospect because the other guy was higher on my board. I think Maxwell Lewis is the most likely to step in and contribute day one because one, I honestly think he's competing with less players. Like, let's say the Lakers like fully ran it back or as close as possible were like the major guys, right? It's like they bring back Dennis, they bring back D'Lo, Austin obviously comes back. And like it depends on how you view Max Christie. If you view Max Christie as a 2, then he counts 2. That's 5 dudes he has to compete with to like get PT. As a player, I think JHS could contribute, but like Maxwell Lewis, one, there's less bodies he has to maneuver himself around. He's 6'7", really good athlete. I think honestly, like his shooting from the main media got really underrated because like you look at the counting stats or just like the generic box score stats, it was like 34.5% on the year at Pepperdine. You provide some context to that. Shout out to David, but that 34.5% is really like 44-ish% on catch and shoot opportunities at Pepperdine, but he did get a ton of those because he was the number one option, which honestly might be a good thing because now he has some shot creation upsides. Like if it's a driving kick while closeout, he could attack off of it and score. He has the physical tools and traits defensively to where like he locked in defensively, which I think is very likely. Maybe I'm being optimistic, but like if he were to fully lock in defensively and like try to be great there, he has a high work ethic, so I believe it. He has everything you need to be a good defender in the modern NBA. 6'7" with a 7-foot wingspan, good athlete. Like he has it. So like I think that's the guy that would most likely I would like if I had. I don't want to bet money on this, but like if I had to like say who could easily, I guess, contribute day one, it would be him. Because then it's Braun, him, Rui, Vando, depending on how you view Max Christie. If you view Max as a 2, then it's even better, right? So I think the guys, they have the skill sets to contribute right away. I think it's just more so about opportunity, if they're going to get it. And I wouldn't be disappointed about the trade front again because, like, I think they tried. It's just that, again, outside of Dallas, what trade in the first round happened that involved players? So that I guess that's my thoughts in general on the Lakers draft.
So, and to that point, like I agree. Bertans was the biggest trade name out there.
And the Rashawn Holmes.
Yeah. So my problem is like team building. So we have Max Christie. This is year 2. We expect him to take a leap. We don't know if that's going to happen. We're just assuming. Same with Lewis. If everything you say can translate to the NBA floor, I think he'll have a great start for next season. Hood, I don't know. Like he's the one player that I've looked least at. Like I have not. You know where people say like, "Oh, let me look at the highlights. Let me look at this." I've tried to
my biggest pet peeve. Oh my god, that pisses me off.
Yeah,
people on Twitter formulate like lengthy opinions off of 10 minutes of highlight watching. Pisses me off so much.
I try to not do that because I like to. Sometimes what you see in college sometimes does not translate to the NBA floor. Does not translate to fit certain situations, pressure. So I'm like, let's see what summer league goes, and he has a kind of like a clean slate for me. Same with Lewis. I kind of know what Max is, and I'm hoping he can develop some other areas, some confidence, have some like offensive confidence, to not just be a strictly like a corner 3-point threat. But my problem is like, who's your 8-man rotation? Assuming Rui Austin is back, assuming you get D'Lo, like
does Dennis
just curious.
Come back?
So if Dennis Schroeder comes back at that point, and is there even space to consider because Vando's on the bench as well? So is Lewis going to crack the rotation?
If it's an
is
8-man, then I don't know. But like, I don't think the Lakers are going to start off the year in an 8-man. I think they probably start off at a 10, maybe even 11. But like, I think they'll for sure start off
yeah.
in a 10.
No, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like in the playoff setting, like in a playoff setting, like if you're in an 8-man rotation, let's say you're bringing back D'Lo, Dennis. Let's say you're bringing back Vando just got exercised during this recording, so his team option was picked up. So wow, surprised. But in that aspect, like Vando's coming off the bench, Rui's in the rotation. Like I'm trying to figure out, do they even crack that rotation? And that's why I come up with the contribute to winning only if they can crack the rotation and be critical for like what's the scheme for Lakers to win games. Like for instance, like if they're the 7th and 8th man coming off the bench, then of course they're critical and they're impacting winning.
Sure.
But if they're not, then they're just break glass situation players.
Right. I think to answer that question, I think honestly you would just have to see them play in the regular season. Like that might be a cheap answer because I feel like the whole time when I was more so projecting like, hey, look, I think honestly that's what you do with any draft prospect this time of year. Like, it doesn't matter who they drafted, what any team drafted. Like the Warriors drafted Brandon Pajemski. They're like projecting like, okay, I think this player, he has this, and this skill set that could, right? But like honestly, to answer like would they crack more specifically an 8-man rotation? That does get a lot harder. But again, to answer that question, you would have to see them play in the regular season. Because like right now, I would say D'Lo, Austin, Braun, Rui, AD, Vando. You brought back Dennis. You're bringing him back to play. Like he's gonna play minutes.
Yeah.
And then Max Christie.
I mean, and that's assuming you let Bamba and Beasley go. Like
I think Beasley's gone. I think they bring Bamba back at a cheaper tag.
Yeah, and if you do that, then whoever we target in free agency, let's say you get a Trey Lyles, let's say you get I'm just saying like so it's trying to affect even let's say this is a dream scenario, but let's say they target Dante.
Ooh, just
but right now. You see where I'm like great pickups, but they're strictly like I'm viewing them for the future. I'm putting no expectations towards it because I feel like you're being dishonest to put them in a situation where it's like, let me put an expectation on you so you can contribute to winning. It's like, no, like if given the opportunity and you exceed, then great. But if you don't, I'm not going to burn you for it. If that makes sense.
I apologize if I've come off as like saying like these dudes, and I don't remember what I said on draft night. So then if I said this, I apologize. But like, I apologize if I came off and said like, no, there's an expectation for these dudes, right?
Oh, no. First of all, nothing to apologize for, but also I don't think I'm
just trying to clarify. I'm trying to make sure like that wasn't my point.
No. Your position was like, first of all, you thought like they're solid pickups, but then your thing was, I'm saying, well, I don't see them contributing to winning, and your thing was just like, well,
why kill them?
Why can't they?
Yeah,
you know. So I don't think it was a thing about the expectation. Here's the thing. I feel I watch footage. Like, look, I watch less NCAA games than I should, and after the draft, I watched a good amount of footage on the draft picks. You're right, solid pickups. My thing is, for the last few years, we have made our bed into this win now mode. And it's to the point where it's just like we almost have to commit to it. LeBron is getting paid 50. He's going to get paid or shade under 50 next year. First year of the two-year extension, but that second year being a player option. AD is up there as well in the high 40s or mid 40s, and it's just like, okay, we have two players. Like, look at what they did in the month of December. AD for the first half of December before he got injured against the Nuggets, you can argue that he was top 2 player in the league for the first half of December. Then he went down. You can argue that LeBron for the second half of December was a top 2 to 3 player in the league. Because remember that birthday weekend in Atlanta, then Charlotte, and he literally just maintained that trend up until the scoring, up until he got the scoring title, the scoring record, or broke the record. And it's like, okay, Tony will tell you. I was saying this in December, like, I'm concerned that that LeBron is going to burn himself out at the end of the season. And it wasn't just because of his production. What also was happening, Sean, excuse the dogs. As soon as I speak, they speak. Oh my God, these fucking dogs.
I love it.
Yeah. So by the way, Zen edibles are being tested to see if they can work on dogs. So that's just testing.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're about to get a 6-pack. But you know what? Here's the thing. One thing that also concerned me was, and I know this was during the Westbrook era. I know this was during the Westbrook era. This was during the, Pat Bev. But we did not have a team that could sustain a lead. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. When I tell you they've been quiet this whole time, and as soon as it's unbelievable.
Shut up, Zen. Shut up, Zen. That's
exactly. It's what's happening. But yeah, look. I'm trying to get through this.
So they're just screens. Just navigate through it.
Zen breaking news. Zen screen navigation is not good.
It's comparable to Van.
I was about to say. Jared Vanderbilt level of screen navigation right here.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, I love it.
Okay, Zen, do.
Let me try.
Are the dogs alive? Just curious. I'm joking.
Not for long. Go ahead, man. But here's the thing. This is what I'm trying to get to. Last year, we didn't have a team that could sustain a lead. Games that were supposed to be easy for us, like, Tony, I bring this up. This is going to be 100th time I bring this up. Games that we had 3 or 4 nights off, unbelievable. Keep going. Games that we had 3 or 4 nights off. We had a home game. It was a Friday night against Detroit. Detroit was on a second night of a back-to-back. They played the Clippers the night before. Okay. This was like, I want to say end of November, in December. We had 3 or 4 nights off, and that was a game that ended up going down to the wire. We didn't have too many games last season where LeBron and AD, it's almost to the point that they don't like me. They don't like me.
Keep going. Dogs, keep yelling.
They didn't have too many games where LeBron and AD got to, during the regular season, LeBron and AD got to sit through the fourth quarter or sit through the last 8 to 10 minutes of the fourth quarter. And I felt that led to burnout. I've got to look at the last game of the season. And, like, we can talk about the regular season, but when I look at that last game of the season against Denver, 1, LeBron was the best player on our team. 2, by the end of the game, he could barely walk. So now LeBron is a player that historically he has been able to, knock on wood, be healthy. This season, he had the groin injury, his first season with the Lakers. We know about that. Cost, the rest of the season. It went downhill from there. But it's like he's had 2 foot injuries, and one of them possibly popping a ligament. Does that require surgery? How will that factor in his off-season regimen? Is like, how is his health going to be? Like, he's getting up there. It's like Father Time is undefeated. I know he's the epitome of health, but LeBron, as the season went on, we could see where it's just like, man, he's just looking more and more winded. And I'm concerned that depending on how this offseason goes, how is he going to be? How is he going to be like next season? Now, like I said, even if LeBron has a 10% drop off compared to this last season, he's still a top 15 player in the league. I'm just not sure if that will be good enough to get us over the hump. That's my concern with LeBron.
So I get that concern and I understand that. And that's why I kind of advocate for the depth row rather than the star row, or kind of like the 3-star model, because like you kind of have to, like, if there was ever a season to kind of carry or lighten the load of LeBron, would be probably this season. And that's why, like, DLO, even though he's getting a lot of shit like on the timeline and everybody's like giving
including myself, by the way, I'm tweeting as we speak because
Oh.
but I did not know DAngelo Russell had stance. Like, that is like, there was the one guy a couple of months ago or whatever. Like, I didn't know D'Lo had like this big of a fan base to where like you say anything negative about him, I'm a D'Lo hater. But please continue.
Yeah, no, it's believe me, like I actually asked like what's a low ball offer, and they said 15 is a low ball offer, and I'm like
no, that's probably right. 15's a low ball.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is, but I'm still like okay, but clearly, like, it's just that was how bad he played that series. Like, it was so bad that, and I think you're gonna have like a video out probably saying like how horrid it was, because is it only that series, or are you trying to see like his shot diet for the entire playoffs?
So like I and here's the tweet. So like I like D'Angelo. I want to, since I have to say this, I want to preface my upcoming comment with saying I like D'Angelo Russell. I like his energy.
I don't.
we know.
I think he likes being a Laker. I think he's passionate about being a Laker, which is important to me to a certain extent. But D'Angelo Russell, the player, is a good but very, very flawed basketball player. He is, I don't even want to touch on the defense because I think we know what he is. He's a bad defender. He's an inconsistent team defender. I think there's moments where he has some brilliance defensively. In terms of being a help defender, low usage guy defensively, where he gets to appropriately help off of cuts and, stunt in the drive lane, stuff like that. I think he's underrated there, but very inconsistent. Offensively, underrated passer, in my opinion at least. Underrated passer and playmaker. Good shot maker, but, and this is why, Tony, if you remember the infamous dude, few weeks back, this point maybe a month back, where I said D'Lo was having a bad series. He was like, well, because Darvin Ham, he doesn't put the ball in his hands and he doesn't let D'Angelo Russell get to the rim, and it's Darvin Ham's fault for D'Angelo Russell shit in the bed in the Western Conference Finals and averaging like 6 points a game or whatever. Somehow that's the head coach's fault. Sure, touch grass. Yeah. Anywho, if you want to talk about schemes, which is literally my thing, Darvin Ham, or what this coaching staff likes to have from their guards, Russell Westbrook, or at least their on-ball guards, Russell Westbrook, Dennis Schroeder, Austin Reeves. Again, I mentioned LeBron James' name because he's offensively, at least, he's kind of used as an on-ball role, so he's tagged along in this category. All four of those guys do a great job at putting pressure on the rim and, more importantly, getting to the rim. I don't even give a damn if you're a good finisher at the rim. Just get to the rim. It creates higher probability. I think that's the wrong word, but higher quality. There we go. Higher quality looks, whether it's from three, at the rim still, off of cuts, whatever, right? D'Angelo Russell in the playoffs ranked in the 5th percentile in his scoring possessions ending at the rim. A scoring possession percentage is a shot attempt, so made or missed field goal, a turnover or a foul. 5th percentile in the NBA players. Amongst all players in terms of shots at the rim or scoring possessions at the rim, he ranked in the 5th percentile. In the regular season, for the Lakers specifically, he ranked in the 18th percentile, which would be good for 424th out of 517 players that qualify for like the data I used. Bro, he doesn't get to the rim. And when you have a series like Denver, where also I think personally, maybe I'm off put, Tony's in, let me know if I'm wrong here. I think D'Lo's like one-on-one back is incredibly overrated. He does not get separation at all. Like
Not at all.
Not at all. So like
he does shot create. Well, shot make, not shot create, because that's two different things.
Yeah. Like he's a good shot maker, but like when you throw some size on him, Bruce Brown, Christian Brown, hell, even Jamal Murray, who's a good point of attack defender in the Western Conference Finals, he can't get to the rim, and you throw a bigger body on him, he doesn't do a good job like creating for himself. Like he doesn't create any separation between him and his defender. Like you have a series like that offensively. And I didn't notice the numbers were that bad, but like, it makes sense now. He's a good basketball player still. Like, he'll average you 19 points a game in the regular season. But like you face a team like Denver, I think about it like, I get it, we have LeBron, maybe that's why, but like if I'm going to State, I would have went big and put like Andrew Wiggins on D'Lo. Because like why not? And like Jonathan can make a good enough defender. F it. We'll figure out the offense, right? Because like you throw a bigger body on D'Lo in the playoffs, it gets rough. And especially if he's not hitting his shots off the ball, it's ugly. But go ahead, I know you went.
So no, it's all good, man. It's all good. This is my problem with D'Lo, and there's many. Okay, so first, let's deal with the on the court. His last game of the season, he came off the bench. Now remember, we heard reports that a couple of games prior that Darvin Ham was thinking about it, or they, the powers that be were thinking about it, but it was, oh well, we're afraid that we're going to lose him, or we're afraid that he's going to respond negatively to this. So it's like, all right, well, now you're dealing with a lack of maturity in my eyes. Now on the court, here's the thing: he has a decent pick and roll game with
really
good
pick and roll game.
He has with AD. Yes, I'll give it to him. But there's been so many times where I'm looking at AD calling for the damn ball, or in a scoring position, or he has a mismatch to his advantage, and D'Lo doesn't make the pass. I think his entry pass game is not where it should be for a starting point guard for a team with championship aspirations. Pick and roll game, I'll give it to him. When he is very streaky. When he is on, great. But then when he's off, that is just like to the depths of hell. And I'm like I said, I'm concerned about his maturity. I'm concerned about his temperament. I did not like during exit interviews, he's saying that like I am who I am as a player. This is his first time being on a squad with championship aspirations. Like when he was with the Warriors, it was like during their controlled tank, So I'm just concerned. Like it goes down to a lack of maturity, a lack of accountability. Here they go again. And so that's my issues with D'Lo. And think about it. It's like for him to, because look, everyone knows I have been on the Kyrie for the longest time. I was on the Kyrie. I was the captain of the Kyrie Irving to LA train. But I backed off. First of all, when D'Lo first got to the team, and he was performing well, I said, if we can get this type of production out of D'Lo, we don't have a need for Kyrie. So I kind of backed off of it, did a soft back off. And then D'Lo went down with the injury. during the regular season, and then in the playoffs, it was just so inconsistent. For a player that made $31 million last year, and
Seriously,
then
that's what he got?
he got
My bad.
31. He got 31 last year because we did the math because we were saying that he was getting paid 31 last year, and then Jamal Murray, when he was cooking his ass in the Denver series, was getting paid 32. And it was like, wow, what a difference $1 million makes. And I'm telling you, it's just like with D'Lo, it's just like, yo, he lacked, like, it goes back to the maturity, it goes back to the accountability, the consistency, but also is like his number one priority is to make sure AD is engaged in the offense. And he doesn't do that. The only thing he has is the pick and roll. But when it comes to getting AD the ball on the block, he doesn't do it. And that's like all of my issues. That's all of my issues with D'Lo. And I'm not even gonna mention the trauma that I had to relive when he got traded to us, because I remember what he did to the locker room the first go around he was here. So it's just like I'm just not a fan of his. I don't feel that he will improve to where we need him to be, and just the lack of consistency. And for him to the conversation was he was going to be in line for like another $30 million a season contract.
Played himself out of that.
Yeah. Like, how many times have we seen, when was the last time we've seen a player that cost himself at least $10 million a season and it had nothing to do with injuries? Like, that's a lot. That's a lot for him. It's not injury related, but he cost himself at least $10 million. I think that says a lot. And it's like, yeah, if we're keeping him just because, the grass isn't greener when it comes to the free agent market or even the trade market, still not that excited. I'm still not that happy for him to be here, but hey, here we are, folks.
Really quick to go on to your point about like him costing himself money. I compared it to the Dennis Schroeder thing a ton through like Dennis Schroeder's 2021 run with us, to where like not nearly as much money involved, but like D'Lo balls out, averages 20 plus or whatever. Yeah, but what he averaged was like 19 in the regular season with us, something like that. But like whatever, let's say he balls out in the playoffs, 19, 20 point per game score, and to play on with the theme of the episode, impacts winning, which I guess technically he did. He had some games in both series against Golden State and Memphis, but neither here nor there. He makes plays for the Lakers, averages fit at like 20 or whatever. D'Lo would have gotten 30 plus, or like a very similar contract to what he just got off of. Now, D'Lo is not going to get like below 20. Like I think that's a pipe dream. Like a dream I would be more than willing to have, by the way. But like, I think the most likely, I think Gilbon Bua, the Athletic, brought this up more so as an idea. I think more so than him reporting it on the Lakers Nation pod with Trevor Lane a few weeks ago. That was like, I think the most likely thing is that D'Lo and the Lakers come to agreement on like a 2-year deal worth like 50 mil, not 50 per year, obviously 50 over a 2 years. So that's like 25 AAV or whatever. Right. Which I think is, or I think the number I came up with was like 2 for like 48. So it's something around that range between like 22 and 25 mil, where I think it satisfies for the most part both sides. Because I think the Lakers, they still have a starting caliber point guard who's like a top half point guard in the NBA. For now, I'm going to say top half. I feel like I'm missing like just a lot of great point guards. So like I'm not going to say yes or no, but top half point guard for sure. The D'Lo stands are going to come at me and say, D'Lo's a top 5 point guard, John. Look at the number. Look at the shut the hell up. But anyway, like a top half point guard that if he balls out, kind of like not a prove it deal, but kind of a prove it deal to where like I ball out for a year or two, then I can go get a bigger bag and capitalize on that. And that bigger contract is the last like big deal I get. And like go get the 4-year deal when this like upcoming 2-year deal, because he's what, 28? He's getting up there. Like he's technically in the prime of his NBA career, if I recall correctly. He might be a little bit younger, like 26, 27, but like he's getting up there in terms like he's approaching 30 for sure. Again, Tony's facial expression at the time of like dude's like 25.
No, sorry, it's just the news. Like Javon Carter just got declined his option.
He had a team option?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
D'Lo's 27, so like you do this 2-year deal, play through your 29 season, and then you get like you get a bigger, if I play well, 4-year extension, ends around my age 33 year. That's probably my last big deal, unless like I'm going nuts in that contract, which is unlikely. So like I think that's the most likely case, but like, yeah, dude, D'Lo cost himself some money. I think he's a good NBA player. I think some of Lakers Twitter underrates him, but there's a good, at the same time, a good part of Lakers Twitter that overrates the hell out of him to where I have to make tweets saying, okay, cool, I don't hate D'Lo, but like he's not a high level point guard. Like, can we like admit it? He's a good dude, good player.
Yeah, I mean, he to a certain extent, and this is probably a hot take, but maybe not. But I do miss the authority that Westbrook played to a certain extent. Like he would,
I quit.
No, I'm just saying. Like,
I'm with Tony on this.
Yeah,
it's what do you mean by authority? Like the
the amount of rim pressure that he would provide, like the amount of just the drives, the also kind of like the involvement with AD to a certain extent. Like I don't see that from D'Lo that much. Like the pick and roll is basically D'Lo's trying to score option rather than trying to pass option, and I don't know. Like it's this thing where the playmaking ability that Westbrook provided was great. It's just playmaking, turnover, and contract just wasn't what we wanted, plus the shooting. But to a certain extent, like that Denver series, if we had Westbrook, that would have been like Westbrook would have at least held his own with the bigger guards of Murray, Bruce Brown, things like that. But it seems like here's the thing with D'Lo, and I'll end it with this because again, like it's getting late, but just wanted to end that. D'Lo's not a bad basketball player, but he's not the end all be all like this top tier point guard. Like the market is like you literally have Kyrie, Van Fleet, then there's like a big drop off D'Lo. Or
Kyrie, like, massive drop off, Van Fleet, small drop off D'Lo.
So again, like I don't know. The solution for me is like bring D'Lo back. He did a lot of good things during the season when he was like in season, like and I think people don't value that too much. Like the part that D'Lo during the season, he can actually go off, give you 30, he can give you 25, he can give you critical threes at times. Something that we wanted Beasley to do, like which is just shoot threes, but you know, like to a certain extent, like D'Lo had timely threes in certain moments. If you can get him in a cost-controlled contract, I don't see anything in the market better than D'Lo. That's what sucks. It's just the facts. Like we would actually lose that level of talent for who? Like, as question, D'Lo or Dante?
D'Lo.
You see what I'm trying to get at? You gain a lot of defense, but. What's the answer? Like seriously.
No, D'Lo.
Yeah.
And then go ahead.
Damn. But
we need another episode.
But you know, this is the problem though. This is the problem. What kind of money is Dante gonna get next year?
Full mid level.
So I think he might go to the Knicks. Tony, were you?
Wasn't
I don't know
reported?
I called it about a week ago.
With their 9 guards, sure. Like,
right, bro. They have like 80,000 guards there.
No. They have a lot of guards. I think from a marketing perspective, you know, the Italian stallion. Just saying, maybe Philly as well. We shall see.
Like, well, maybe Rocky Balboa.
I think
in the Knicks then. Like Jesus Christ.
Really quick, I think one again, D'Lo's a good player. He's a good NBA player for sure. I mean, he would not have sustained the level of career he's had and made the money he's had if he wasn't a good NBA player. Should I say it? I'm gonna say it. I think the thought of DAngelo Russell, like DAngelo Russell, the theory is a lot better than DAngelo Russell, the person, or like the actual tangible on-court player. That sounds messed up, but like seriously, like in theory, you got a potential. Because again, when he does get to the rim, he's really good. Like hold on, let me see. Let me try to find it really quick.
I think his finishing is pretty up there.
Finished. Yeah, he converted 65.2% of his looks at the rim this season, the regular season for the Lakers, which would be 70 percentile. He just doesn't get there. And then like there's now this argument where like, oh, look, it's because he's playing next to LeBron and AD. That's bullshit. Because like the other guards don't have a problem. And like in Minnesota, he had the same exact problem. He was in the 15th percentile last year. So like, but again, let me retrack here really quick. D'Lo, the thought of D'Lo, smart player. Okay, backtrack. Okay, high IQ basketball player that can make some plays like off ball defensively at times. Good shot, really good shot maker. That can score at all three levels of the floor, and a really underrated playmaker. A good playmaker, not like a insane top 10 playmaker, but a really good one that I think doesn't get talked about enough in terms of like DAngelo Russell's skill set. But the player DAngelo Russell, while he's good at the rim in terms of like percentage, he doesn't get there nearly as much as a high level point guard can. For him being an underrated playmaker, he doesn't do it enough. Like there'll be games in like a 10 assist game in the playoff, and then like the next game he had like 2. Like he's a good playmaker, but like is not as consistent as you'd like. Not a good defender. If the shot isn't falling, what does he do for you offensively besides like some playmaking? And then, bro, I forget if I said this. I know I said this on like the pod I did before I hopped over here. I think we had this conversation like 20 minutes ago, though. D'Lo, the shot create, like in terms of like creating. Yeah, we did do this.
We did this.
He's a very overrated like one-on-one creator. So like, and then last point I'll make, because I think Zen, no, you made this up. You brought this point up, but then Zen commented on it. As regards to Russell Westbrook, I will say, I think Russell Westbrook, in certain instances, is a better fit than DAngelo Russell. And what I mean by that is he's a better scheme fit offensively. Like in terms of fit next to LeBron and AD, I think we know that the answer is no. But in terms of Darvin Ham's playbook, what the coaching staff wants out of their guards, he's a better fit than DAngelo Russell because, I mean, I'm going to let Zen go so I can find these numbers. So, but like DAngelo, just like the eye test says, Russ, I'm going to get to the effing rim. And the numbers and the eye test say for D'Lo, that's not the case. But go ahead, Zen, while I find this really quick.
I miss Westbrook.
I would not go that far.
I miss Westbrook.
I'm not going that far at all.
Here's the thing, Sean. I'm going to ask you a question. Imagine if Schroeder signed that offer that we gave him.
Okay.
That 4-year for what? 85?
84.
Which
low key is like, if you tell me the new CBA is about to happen, that might not be a bad contract. But keep going.
Understood. But could you imagine if Schroeder was making 21 million or 22 million with us last season, and what we would have said about him? This is why I miss Westbrook. First of all, let me acknowledge the crap. Westbrook, sometimes it's like, yo, what sport are you playing? I think the thing with Westbrook is we know he's horrible shooting. His finishing at the rim is just like probably below average. And I think the thing with Westbrook is his mistakes are just so spectacular.
They're very loud.
That you cannot forget them. Very loud. His mistakes are just loud, just ridiculous. But the thing with Westbrook, it's like, okay, we were judging him because of that number. We were judging him because of that contract. And I looked at that last game of the season and just like, LeBron is damn near bending over trying to breathe. He's just exhausted. Who would be the one guy right now to be that Energizer Bunny and just keep fighting? It would have been Westbrook. And I just think that the thing with DAngelo compared to Westbrook is that DAngelo has this nonchalant attitude that it's hard to digest. It's hard, like for a guy to say, well, for him to have that nonchalant attitude. And I'm not saying we're going to question his effort, but one thing with Westbrook is to the point that it's almost like he's like delusional on the court. We will never question his energy and effort on the courts. And he gives it his all. Maybe it's like, man, if he was ever supposed to come back on a team-friendly deal, I know that contract was ugly. I get it. It was horrific. But man, if we got him back on a team-friendly deal, I don't know if I know we can't. I would not be opposed to it. It's just like his mistakes are just spectacular. But man, what he brings, I saw there was a game, the Clippers game this season. It was a home game for us where we ended up losing the game, of course, but 3 straight possessions, he locked down Kawhi. He has these spectacular moments where it's just like, he still got something there, but then those mistakes are just, just that clown. Put on the clown music, put on the blooper reel. It's just so spectacular. Everyone will remember it the next day, But hey,
so
we're not gonna, that's not something we'll have to worry about.
Your dog
I miss
stopped
Westbrook.
barking. Your dog stopped barking really
Hey,
quick.
look,
We got to go ahead.
Don't say that. Don't say that. You're gonna jinx it. But look. I got in trouble. I got in trouble with his family because I referred to him as the mildew of the NBA. But hey,
DLO?
no, Westbrook.
Westbrook.
Yeah, that was an entire. We actually even had like a Twitter court of law kind of situation, which is we'll probably have to find that in that space again and just replay it because it was honestly epic. Like we put Zen in the court of law trying to say like for the count of calling Westbrook mildew, we find you guilty.
Really quick, but we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
I found some Russ numbers. At least I'm only looking at like the Clippers stuff. Like I guess I could find the Lakers stuff.
Sure.
But D'Lo, I'm sorry, not D'Lo. Russell Westbrook in the Clippers uniform, 70th percentile in terms of scoring possessions ending at the rim. And granted, I guess Russ's problem in recent years was he wasn't as good of a finisher. But I mean, you're telling me which one would you rather take? 57% at the rim on like good volume to a certain extent. 57 isn't great necessarily, but because like that would rank in the 31st percentile. But 57% at the rim, but I'm getting there at a 70% percentile clip compared to the rest of the NBA. Or 64% at the rim, but like 11 percentile in terms of usage at the rim, comparatively speaking. Like, bro, that's all I'm gonna say. I think Russ, yeah. That's all I'm gonna say for now. But that was fun. That was fun, guys, for sure. And we spent like the last 30 minutes.
We will have to do this again. Shout out to Sean Spaces for being gracious and always down for a great conversation. So yeah, meeting of the gold mines. Appreciate everyone. We will be having another one of these conversations soon. Tony Vega, you ready to close this out, brother?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you, Sean. By the way, let's do this again tomorrow. I'm joking, but we'll do this again at some point. And for the Lakers, excuse me, let's just see what happens. This was recorded on a Tuesday, so probably drop Wednesday. Friday's gonna be the day to know what's going on, and Thursday's gonna be the pickup options on Beasley and the guarantee date on Bamba. So honestly, we'll get a clearer picture of how this roster is going to look, and hopefully, just trust the process. Well, that's Sixers, but anyway, guys, take care. Later. Good night.